The date? November 2010, and I was basically a fetus at the beautiful age of 9 years old. Almost becoming 10, finally entering the double digits. How exciting it was for me. The world of video games were a new and exciting world to someone like me. The only consoles I had were the original Xbox, a Nintendo DS, and of course, the Nintendo Wii. I loved the Wii. It was one of my favorite consoles of all time. I had so many great memories on that system, and some of my favorite games of all time hail from that system. The Super Mario games, Kirby's Epic Yarn, Return to Dreamland, and one game that may actually surprise you, and well, I guess it won't actually surprise you because it's the title of the video, isn't it? How do I describe this game? I got this game when it first came out in 2010, so needless to say, my thoughts and opinions on things have definitely changed since I was that age. Here's my verdict of the game. This game is one of the best, if not the best, Pokemon spin-off ever created. What exactly is this game? What do you do? Let's just break it down for you real quick. It is an open-world RPG where you play as Pikachu, wandering in a world known as the PokéPark. The plot of this game is actually extremely simple, which is made easy for a stupid almost 10-year-old me to understand. Here's the deal. Pikachu is playing with his friends Charmander, Chikorita, and Piplup. They are just absolutely vibing like best bros until Mew comes around and brings him to this area where there's just this big ass black circle on the floor. Naturally, nobody wants to go in because it's a goddamn black pit. Piplup accidentally bumps Pikachu down the pit, and everyone eventually follows in to make sure he's alive. Yep, alright, Pokemon. The game now begins. Mew gives us some exposition about what is going on. There's this thing called a sky prism, and some pieces of it have shattered and scattered throughout the entire park. We must go through each section of the park and find them all to make sure the park is protected. Because of the sky prism shattering, the park is kinda out of control. Pokemon aren't as friendly to each other, and things aren't as great as they should be. Here's what we gotta do. We gotta befriend as many Pokemon as we can, get the pieces of the sky prism back, and basically unite the PokéPark. We must go through a whole bunch of different zones. There's the meadow, beach, iceberg, cavern, lava, haunted, granite, and the flower zone, as well where the sky prism is held, called the Sky Pavilion. That is a lot of places to go to, and trust me, these are all more fun than the last. There are so many mini-games, puzzles, and interesting things to do while exploring this wide world. What are these mini-games, you ask? Well, you can chase Pokemon, battle them, play hide and seek, do a quiz, parkour, attractions, and yeah, it's just really exciting. Right? Okay, maybe it doesn't sound great on paper, but trust me, it's extremely fun. It's quite really a simple story, and there's a lot that happens I could have shared. A lot of it turns out to be like, oh, I'm not happy with the zone leader Pokemon, so my zone's now gonna be shitty. It's just really just a whole bunch of pettiness and people just getting arguments for literally the stupidest of reasons. It's not anything super crazy or heart-wrenching, but it's just the real magic of the game comes from what you do throughout the PokéPark. Everything is just so satisfying. Even something as basic as chasing a Pokemon or playing hide and seek is just so damn fun. I don't really understand why, but it is. There's nothing extremely stressful or things that irritate the living shit out of you here. The game is quite literally therapeutic. In every zone, there is a major minigame called an attraction. They're so extremely simple to play, but actual skill is needed to get the best scores and results. What makes these attractions fun to replay is that you can actually play as different Pokemon. That's right, Pikachu isn't the only Pokemon you can play as in this game. The friends you make in all the zones can sometimes be playable characters in these attractions. Each attraction tells you what Pokemon are the most skillful for the attraction at hand, but sometimes these Pokemon aren't available to be your friend when you first play these attractions, so you have to work with what you got. So you know what I'm going to do now. I am going to go through each attraction and give them ratings on the official and now trademarked Doomarachi Fun Scale. Let's begin. Bulbasaur's Daring Dash is up first. This is the first attraction you play in the game. The rules are simple. You shake your Wiimote up and down as fast as you can in order to win. It's just a simple race against other Pokemon. This one is extremely easy to play and win, which is kind of obvious when it's the first attraction of the game. The real challenge comes to two things: playing as a different Pokemon and getting the bonus. In every single attraction, there's a bonus you can get if you get a certain amount of points, get the attraction done by a certain time, blah blah blah. It usually just gives you a whole bunch of extra berries. I rate Bulbasaur's Dash 4 out of 10. It's a fun minigame, but it goes by way too fast and it's just way too easy. Venusaur's Vine Swing. This game is actually extremely fun. There actually is some challenge to it. You have to swing the Wiimote in a swinging motion and press the B button at the right moment to get the best swing. It takes some coordination, but man, once you let go, you just zoom. This is one of the games I love to replay with other Pokemon because sometimes they can go really far and it's just so damn fun. 8 out of 10. Pelipper's Circle Circuit. This one doesn't include Pikachu at first, so you have to rely on one of your friends who can fly for you. This is where the games really get interesting because now you have to pick what Pokemon you think will get the job done the best. Every single Pokemon has differences in their gameplay. Some are slow, some are fast, some are agile. It's up to you to see what works and what doesn't. You have to fly through these rings in the sky. The more rings you fly through, the higher your score. Some rings are different colors, which means those will give you more points towards your score. And going back to the differences in Pokemon, having a Pokemon that flies way too fast can prove to not be the best choice because you can naturally miss a lot of these rings because you're going way too fast. So you have to pick the kind of the middle ground who to work with the most. It's actually brilliant. The game itself is pretty easy. It goes by pretty fast. It's nice to see the scene. I give it another 8 out of 10. Gyarados Aqua Dash. This one requires more coordination from yourself. You have to press the 2 button to swim and tilt the Wiimote to turn. There are flags throughout the course that will give you a speed boost, and enemies throughout the course will slow you down. You want to finish the course as fast as you can. The course itself is pretty simple, and you won't have to mess up intentionally to get hit by the enemies. It's really, really easy, especially if you have a fast Pokemon. So I rate it 5 out of 10. It's kind of cool, but way too easy. Empoleon's Snow Slide is next, and it's pretty much the exact same as the Aqua Dash. The only difference is that you're sliding on ice and it's much wider to work with. You have to get the fastest time once more. There's speed boosts. I'm not really sure what to say about this one. I rated it a 6 out of 10. I'm only rating it higher because it's a tiny bit more difficult to actually mess up your time. Bastiodon's Block Barrage. This one is actually very interesting. You shoot a ball towards a Bastiodon and these numbered signs behind them. You must break these signs in order to get points. If you press a button at the right time, you can shoot a power shot, which can stun Bastiodon and the Dugtrios that you come across and get more points. The game is over once you lose all 3 balls. This one is extremely fun and can be challenging if you don't pay enough attention. I love these breakout mini games. I really do. I give it an 8 out of 10. Rhyperior's Bumper Burn. This one is really interesting as well. You have to spin around and push others out of this ring. You have to make sure you do not fall off the ring by tilting your Wiimote. In order to get rid of your opponents, you have to bump them off with all your might. This game is one of my favorites because there's some actual challenge here. You are just as easy to be pushed off into the lava as anyone else. You can't expect to brute force through this. This one is a lot of fun, so I rate it a 9 out of 10 because of the challenge. Blaziken's Boulder Dash. This one's kind of a step down from the previous games. This one is also really easy. The gimmick's that you have to tilt the Wiimote when a boulder comes your way. You swing at the right time, you'll score a lot of points. If you keep breaking the boulder successfully, you will get a combo bonus, getting even more points. It's just really simple, and the boulders don't really come enough. You have way too much time to process between swings. I rated it a 6 out of 10. Tangrowth Swing Along. This one is basically a souped up version of Venusaur's Vine Swing. It's the same thing, but this time there are more vines to swing on and you have to race against other Pokemon. I like this one more than the Vine Swing because there's more pressure to it this time. It's the same gameplay, but the other Pokemons competing are actually really decent at this attraction, so you actually have to try really hard to get a good score. This one's great to play through, so 8 out of 10. Dusknoir's Speed Slam. You have to race against other Pokemon on a course, but this time you have these rock slabs blocking your way. You basically have to run through these rocks, and once you hit the rocks, you will slow down. So things can be somewhat difficult if you don't speed up enough. It's pretty alright. It's alright, I guess. I don't really know more to say about it. 7 out of 10. Rotom's Spooky Shoot 'em Up. This game is a shooter as you have to defeat the Ghastlies and Haunters before they approach you. The more you take down, the more points you get. What makes this one so fun is how hectic things can get. They will approach you from all directions, so you have to be constantly looking all over the place in order to win. It can actually get really, really stressful, but not super stressful where it's not winnable. I give it a 9 out of 10. I love it. Absol's Hurdle Bounce. It's yet another race on the course, but this time you have to jump over hurdles. This one's really easy, and it gets the worst when you have a fast Pokemon. It becomes a simple pattern of just pressing the button. It's fast, but way too short and extremely easy. 5 out of 10. Salamance's Air Ace. This one is quite enjoyable. You have to fly through a course and shoot down targets. It's not easy to take down every single target, no matter how fast your Pokemon is, so I like how this one does challenge you to do the best you can. 7 out of 10. Last but not least is Rayquaza's Balloon Panic. Not really sure why this one's called Balloon Panic when the only thing that involves balloons is the fact that you are on a giant Rayquaza balloon. Regardless, what you do is run on this track and run into as many rings as you can. Once you get to the front of the balloon, however, Rayquaza appears and now you have to shoot down targets. It's interesting to see these two types of mini-games merge into one, and running on this track can actually be challenging because the floor shifts into a certain direction, so there's a challenge and it's actually really unique. Great way to end the game for attractions. 9 out of 10. And that is all my ranking of the attractions. Here it is on the tier list. Wait a minute, what the hell? How did these games get on here? With all of that, those were all the attractions in this game. And it does seem like they kind of repeat themselves after a while, but every single attraction has some unique twist, even if it isn't that much. What makes them so fun is the aspect of getting better when you have new Pokemon to try out. I mentioned earlier that the game will try to recommend Pokemon for you, to get the best results. Some of these Pokemon aren't available by the time you first play the attraction. Once you have those Pokemon, you just absolutely wipe the floor with everyone. When you aren't doing the attractions, there are numerous little things you can do throughout each zone. One of the main gimmicks of this game is that you can befriend basically every single Pokemon you encounter in every single zone. It's actually incredibly fun to do this because sometimes it's not easy to actually befriend them. There's some challenge to it. And to become friends with these Pokemon sometimes requires you to play a game with them, help them with troubles they're facing, or simply just be nice to them. For such a simple game, it's nuts to see just how much stuff you can do. There are so many zones, so many mini games, so many Pokemon to befriend. It's just crazy how much detail and love this small spin-off of a game got. It also sold extremely well. That absolutely warranted a sequel. A few years later, PokéPark Wii 2 did indeed release. You may be wondering what my opinion is on that game. Well, I'm not sure. I actually never got to play this one. This came out when I was still a little baby teenager, but I didn't have my own way to get my own money on a solid basis back then. I only had the holidays to work with. I was never gifted the games for my birthdays and Christmases, so eventually I just kind of forgot about it and moved on. I may be an adult now where I can buy anything I want, but buying Wii games at a good price is something that's not very easy nowadays. It sucks paying bills. Maybe one day PokéPark 2, maybe one day. What's really shocking to me is just how great this game looks for the Wii. Every single environment you go through is just so nice looking, and I would be lying if I said I didn't want to live in every single zone when I was younger. You're gonna look me dead in the eye and tell me the flower zone isn't gorgeous? Yeah, okay, liberal. All the Pokemon are really well animated and detailed. Keep in mind that this was during the time when the mainline Pokemon games were still in their pixelated forms on the DS, so being able to experience such high quality and detailed models of these characters was just a pleasure. And don't get me started on the music in this game. It is so damn glorious. Almost every single track in this game is so catchy and enjoyable to listen to. These songs will loop a lot because of how much time you spend in each zone, but that's just fine by me. These songs are fantastic, and I sometimes have them on in the background in my totally epic video game mixtape to study, cry, eat pizza, or edit a YouTube video. Trademarked. I can't say I have a personal favorite because I consumed so much of these songs when I was younger and while making this video to the point where I can't really pinpoint a favorite. The songs are just so simple yet so elegant and match every single situation you're in. I'm not really sure what more I can say about this game. This game deserves so much more than what it received in the end. I'm sure the sequel kicked ass. It got great reviews as well. It's truly a shame that this series completely died after the sequel. It was never ported to any system or ever even talked about again by Nintendo. I'm not saying this is a franchise like Call of Duty where we need a new entry every single year, but the fact that only 2 games came out on the Wii and nowhere else just sucks. How did Pokemon Snap come back before this? I mean, maybe one day there'll be hope and these 2 games will get ported to the Switch, but who knows? There may be hundreds upon hundreds of new Pokemon that we can interact with. We need this new game or at least these ports again. Please, Daddy Nintendo, more PokéPark, please. I will literally pay $60 for a re-release of this game. I will, because I will defend the series with my life. It deserves so much more. It's fun, it's friendly, and like I said before, it's so therapeutic to play. I understand that you can't find copies of these 2 games in a while so easily nowadays, so I don't know how people are going to experience this game so easily. I wish I could sit here and just recommend you guys something, but I can't. Unfortunately, I cannot just sit here and fully recommend that you download the free and popular emulator Dolphin that allows uncapped frame rates and 4K widescreen support on numerous Wii titles, something that the Wii never even had, and download the ROM files of the PokéPark game from numerous save websites that are keeping these games alive and accessible for anyone to play. I totally cannot recommend that you do that because Nintendo hates emulation. So whatever you do not do what I just said, and definitely do not look up how to use the Dolphin emulator on Google and learn how you can play any Wii game for free and play games that Nintendo will not re-release or keep alive at all. It's totally not cool to emulate games, guys. I'm being serious. Alright, well, bootlicking and general stupidity aside, if you ever get the chance to play these games and if you love the Pokemon franchise, absolutely play these games when you can. I promise you that it will not disappoint you. We can all pray that this series might make a comeback someday, but I think we're just going to be stuck with amazing games such like Sword and Shield, the Let's Go games, the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Oh yeah, they're making a new RPG-like game, aren't they? The Arceus game. That looks like it's going to be fun. Yeah, wow, that looks great. Modern day Pokemon is shit. There, I said it. Bye everyone, like and subscribe.